because I really appreciate our brotherhood, and it's like something that I want to share with men out there. Go out in pairs of twos, like the gospel, like says, right? Like, and they went out as brothers, like John and James, and Peter and Andrew, right? Like, they were brothers, which is wild to me. I'm Nick Clune, and you're listening to the Hey Brother podcast. Join me and my brother Mitch as we challenge each other and other Catholic men to grow deeper in brotherhood, strengthen our faith, and find greater freedom. Hit the subscribe button and join us on this journey. Welcome back to the episode of the Hey Brother podcast. Thank you guys for joining us and listening so far. Me and Mitch are taking a little bit of a reflective conversation angle today, talking about what it's like to start a podcast and our thoughts on social media. Because for me, working in Catholic Psych, social media has been kind of a interesting dynamic. Like, Dr. Griggs very much show the impression. He's like, if St. Paul was alive today,
right? Yeah,
he'd be on social media.
Yeah, social media is the front lines
Yeah.
of our Catholic faith, right? Or not Catholic faith, but the warfare for souls, really.
Yeah, it's the new frontier, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's where St. Paul would have been. It's where Jesuits would have been.
It's where Father Mike Schmitz is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Father Mike Schmitz, Bishop Robert Barron,
And I think it's ultimately what swayed you into actually doing a podcast with me.
I don't know about that. That's why you wanted to do it, that's for sure. But what swayed me was like, hey, you want to talk to me and drink some bourbon?
Yeah.
Deal.
Yeah. I think it's been an interesting experiment, like, just getting out there. I've had a lot of people like ask me, like, has this been challenging, like, to just get out there and start making content and stuff like that? And like, it's been frustrating, like, because like I have to figure out the tech side of things and everything like that.
The tech side, yeah.
But like, just recording conversations, like, I don't know, like I've been on stage before in different scenarios, and it's not something that's like super intimidating. Like, and I also like ran a podcast before, the Hey Brother podcast with Bobby, like the Friends of Iris podcast. So I had like a little experience of talking to somebody with an audience that isn't like, I reference the audience, but my miter saw's over there, right? like that's not a.
The audience to me is the miter saw, the screwdriver, and an empty bottle of bourbon over there.
Yep, that's who we're talking to. So
that's funny. I like fully, when I talk to you, I'm talking to you, and I'm like, yeah, there's no one that actually listens to this. And so I'll like visit home or something. He's like, hey, I've been following in with your podcast. I'm like, people listen to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that experience too, where people are like, I really like what you're putting out. And I'm like, thank you. I don't quite remember what it was that I'm putting out. But yeah.
A lot of people back home have found hype in our hometown Mercer County podcast.
That episode, yeah. I thought that was a good episode too, because it was like, we were just sharing candid thoughts, and
definitely it was my favorite episode to record.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, that was one of our favorite episodes to like record with you, and then Martin Watchin was like one of my favorite interviews that kind of came out of nowhere. That's like,
right.
People sometimes ask me that, like, have you had a favorite guest so far? And I'm like, they're all like unique in their own way, and I love like talking and getting to hear a guy's story. But like, I happened upon Martin like on Facebook, and then I'm like, hey man, like, it looks like you're doing some cool stuff. You want to come on my podcast? He's like, sure. And and that's how that happened. And then he like
definitely
spoke fire.
That was a fire podcast, and up until then, I agree, that one was like I was just like listening to that at work, and then I'm like, dude, this guy is dropping lines. But
yeah.
But before that, I think John King was still one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Just his
to
rawness, his realness.
Yeah. I think, like I said, what I said before is that everyone has something to relate to it in what he was talking about.
John's episode, yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. It's been good to like to hear guys' stories, and then it's been fun to work on a project with you again too. It's like, it's been since we worked at the park together that we like worked on a project actively together.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a little different than edging the whole entire park. But
I'm switching every hour who's operating the blower and who's operating the edger.
Right, yeah. Yeah, a little different,
that's
but
funny.
It's good. Yeah, and like so, kind of bring it back into like the whole focus of social media too. It's like I think there is a real mission here. Like one of the ways I pitched in my mind, like I had to sell myself first on the idea of starting a podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why does it make sense to bring Mitch into this? Like one, it was like it's gonna be a lot easier to get out there if I have a brother who's like doing something with me. But like, why particularly ask you and not like a Catholic psych mentor or some other guy here in the Dayton area? It's like because I really appreciate our brotherhood, and it's like something that I want to share with men out there and be able to like go out in pairs of twos, like the gospel like says, right? Like, and they went out as brothers, like John and James and Peter and Andrew, right? Like they were brothers.
Yeah.
And they, which is wild to me, like how many of the apostles were actually like, maybe there was only siblings, like I don't know the apostles well enough to rattle off the top of my head if there was more sets of brothers, but those are the two notable sets of brothers. Like,
yeah, right. And there's also points in the gospel where they talk about brothers not being like physical brothers, but not also just like spiritual brothers. Brothers like it like refers to like cousins.
It can refer to cousins, yeah.
Yeah, and then and
depends
like
on what words being
and
used.
even like village mates kind of
yeah
kind of deal. But brothers encapsulates a lot.
Yeah, but like as far as like so like but with like John and James particular, we know that they were biological brothers because
absolutely
they're the sons of Zebedee, right?
Yep.
And we know that from Scripture. In a way, like that's like what I'm like thinking about with the podcast when I was like first conceptualizing it. Like, wow, it'd be really cool to go out and spread the gospel, and into a particular niche that I'm like, yeah, men. Like it's just something that I've always felt like called to, like men helping men become more who God's created them to be. And I know that I wouldn't be the man that I am if I didn't have you in my life. And it's like,
yeah, definitely.
And that's why we're on social media now. That's why.
Yeah, right. And I mean, like, I like just like the prospect of like where we get to like have an authentic conversation. And I think it's probably obvious to the listeners, but that some of the topics are what we capture are, hey, I wanted to actually just talk to you about this topic, and like whether the cameras are rolling or not, doesn't regard. And those are the popular ones that go well, and the ones that are a little less, easy going, little mojo off.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that we didn't really like authentically think about what we wanted to talk about.
Right.
But
which is kind of the steering, like, so we're talking about the process of starting a podcast. Like that's where we're steering, is like trying to hit that groove where it's more authentic. Like,
and it gives me so much motivation to like have an authentic conversation with you. Like like what do I want to actually talk to Nick about? Like like that we should be talking about. And like I think that's what I have high hopes for the episode we just recorded about the pastoral statement for
1960
penitence and abstinence from 1966, because I was something you could probably hear it in my voice during that I was super excited to talk about and that I stumbled upon.
I'll give you full permission if you're listening now to click off and go listen to that episode.
Absolutely. And even like the Mercer County one that we were like super like thrilled to talk about that one.
yeah and I think that
those were definitely my two favorite ones to record.
Yeah, and it's like anything in life, we're works in progress. Even like this podcast, it's like we're trying to figure out how to make it work. And like for me, it's like looking at the tech side. It's like you got the YouTube algorithm to worry about, and it's like how much information.
You got to worry about June bugs flying into your drink.
Exactly. Where to record. I enjoy it. Like this has been
great. Yeah.
More casual conversation than the living room. Like it's like. All those things are like, it's a work in progress to build this podcast out. And that's like a statement, like exactly what we want to display in like sharing our brotherhood is like, you can take a parallel process, which is psychology words, right? Like parallel angle, looking at this podcast, looking at this conversation, and apply it to your life. Cause it's like everything is a work in progress. Oh man, that's a big bug.
Holy crap.
I'm glad it's on your side.
It's just a beetle. I'm like,
Nothing. Dude, I had the craziest thing that happened to me. You can address that. I'll tell a story while you're doing that. When we were on vacation like 3 years ago, we went up to Michigan. And we love going to Michigan because it's really casual. We just get a cabin and go to the lake.
as an official Ohio State graduate, I hate how much I like Michigan.
Well, it's so nice. So you just get an Airbnb and you go to the lake for your entertainment, and you just relax.
The west side,
Yeah.
the coast of it's like Michigan over there, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michigan coast, especially in July when it's blueberry season. If you've never had a Michigan blueberry, I tell you, you're missing out. You can get them from like the grocery stores here in Ohio.
Yeah,
but those are like the ones that they're like, these are
not good.
These are the ones that we can send away to other states. But the ones from Michigan, the big old boys,
nice
delicious.
Yeah, they're also known for cherries too, up in Traverse City.
Oh, I love cherries too. But anyhow, you were saying.
Well, we were there on vacation, and we'd gone, like, we had a nice Airbnb, like, where they had a beachfront property. So, like, we would walk down to the beach. Our oldest at the time was, like, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. He'd just go play in the water, play in the sand. Renee and I would just sit there and pray, and it was great. And we got done swimming one afternoon. I hung my shorts up and didn't think too much about it. And then we, like had dinner that night, woke up the next morning, and like let's go swimming. Okay, let's go swimming. And I put my trunks on, and all of a sudden I get like a bite down in the private areas where you don't want to feel bites. And I was like I freaked out, and I looked down and like this like water beetle like this size like in there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna swim today. I'm just gonna put the trunks away. I'm gonna treat this bite.
And I'm gonna go cry for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was like it took me a while to get like back in the water, like back in the swim trunks. It was like,
dang.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what that beetle reminded me of. I didn't even realize we had beetles like that here in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm gonna bank that my wife's not listening to this episode, but that beetle that big, like this was like maybe a month into moving into our house.
Yeah.
There was one in the middle of our floor, like just like a
2-incher
in the middle of our living room, and I just like, it was at night, so like she was already in bed, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take this guy, he's gonna go back outside, and she's never gonna know.
Yeah.
And unless she listens to this, she'll still not know.
Beetles seem like pretty like chill. Like if you don't mess with them, they're fine.
Yeah, right.
But
even right there, just kind of like, hey, buddy,
just go out.
this isn't your home.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Is he still sitting there? Yeah, he's still just sitting right there on the driveway.
Nice. Well, I'm glad the beetle interrupted our episode. It's good to, and I think that's like a statement to like where we're trying to head with the Hey Brother podcast is like, this is authentic moments and like
speaking of
capturing it,
of interrupting and taking your attention away because you don't have that long of an attention span.
Yes.
We're talking about social media.
Yes.
Where jarring things pop up on your screen all the time.
Yeah. There we go. The beetle gave us a perfect segue. It's
perfect.
It's crazy how exponentially small our attention spans have become.
Yeah.
Like from books to TV, or I guess movies probably is the more books, plays, movies to TV to all the way down to YouTube Shorts.
Short form content is like,
it's the worst.
Yeah,
I hate it, and I click on it all the time.
It's so great, but it's absolutely mind rot. It's the opposite of what our society needs right now.
Yeah. I just like
it makes sense though why like it's like popular, right, and selling. And
you take me into that. Why does it make sense?
Because of like how like that dopamine hit, right?
Yeah,
it hits the 10 seconds. Because like let's be real here, even on like YouTube Shorts, if your thing's a minute long,
that's too long.
It's too long.
Yeah, I know. Our shorts for Hey Brother like has to be under a minute for them to be successful.
Yeah,
I'm like, if they're over a minute, people click off.
That's crazy. And like, I mean, like this is like a big Gen Z thing, or
Alpha. I guess.
Yeah, Gen Alpha. same thing. Is that like you have to like throw a Temple Run video on the bottom?
Yeah.
You know, like you can't pay attention to like the top video unless like someone's running Subway Surfer underneath it, and it's just like, or like jumping in Minecraft, or like doing something
that's
completely brain rot. Like that's not at all meaningful towards anything, and it's disgusting, and I hate it.
And we're victim to it, and like we do it because it's like it's so easy just to click on that. I like did a fairly good job of like staying off social media before like getting involved with Catholic Psych. And it's like, to kind of go back to that analogy where like St. Paul would be on social media, or the Jesuits would be on social media. The Jesuits were risking a lot to come to the New World. When they came to the New World, I don't think it's too dissimilar jumping into social media,
right?
Like for myself, where I'm just like trying to figure it out, and now I'm like, oh shit, like I'm like addicted to like scrolling through these YouTube shorts.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling, which is, it's so sad because it's like the whole idea of a zombie apocalypse, it connects. Just hold on for a second, like, and that fear is good.
As long as it's 10 seconds, you lost my attention span.
Yeah, I'm done. This is which podcasts are impervious to that to some degree, which I think is awesome. Like they allow for a longer thought process.
The most popular podcast right now, Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
And
3 hours long.
3 hour long interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and it gives us hope, right? Towards social media.
Well, it's like people are hungry for something that's real, right?
Yeah.
And that's hopefully what we're able to give with the Hey Brother podcast. To go back to what I was saying with the zombie apocalypse, right? People fear like this idea of like some sort of new drugs, COVID's gonna happen, or some sort of new drugs gonna like happen where, where like the zombies take over the world, and like all of a sudden like, that's the zombie apocalypse, or in the Walking Dead universe. But
season 2 reveals that everyone's infected. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. But really, like, we're already in it. Like, people are zombies just scrolling on their phone. Like, the brain activity is like kaput. It's all just dopamine.
Yeah, you go to like a public location, like a public bus, or like a doctor's office, or even I was guilty of this today. I ate lunch at McDonald's, and I like ate in the building, and me and everyone else that was inside was just
on
scrolling through the phone.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to do someday is like start a retreat center, and I want to have a no phone zone in that retreat center, which sounds super middle schoolish, right? Like that a youth minister would be like,
yeah,
put your phones in the buckets. But I'm like, no, like I like just tell me who's emergency contact for you, let them know the retreat center phone number, and I want you to have freedom from your phone, right? Like, what is the idea of a retreat? To escape from everyday life. And if you have your phone, you're not going to do that. I know how weak you are, because like maybe you're stronger than me, but I'm that weak, right?
Yeah.
Like if I have access to my phone, I'm not going to not use it.
I was listening to the radio this morning, Matt Swain on the Sunrise Morning Show, and he was talking about how Pope Benedict gave a Wednesday audience, and he's just like, we need to not be like, he was talking against like relativism, and like how we need to be not like radically like individualized, or I forget the connection he made, but then he said 10 years later, everyone at the same like papal audience had their like smartphone out. So like this is like 2006 to 2016. So like 2006, everyone's just listening.
Right.
2016, everyone's listening and recording.
Right.
And like the point Matt Swain made was that like the fundamental human existence requires a smartphone now.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And it feels wrong.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like Paul Vitz is he's like an American philosopher that we studied when I was going through the Catholic Psych program, and he made a really big distinction between analog and digital, not just talking about clocks, but the way we perceive things. And he's like, analog is like real tactical things that we're perceiving in time, right? And digital is the fact that we're receiving it through some other means, some other device. And he's like, we're in a world that moves more and more and more to the digital. And even like that iPhone thing, like it's a huge difference between me like talking to you like this face to face versus like me recording you and seeing you on the screen, right? Like there's a huge difference between actually encountering the person and the event.
Yeah, even in like shorts, like interviews, like beach interviews or whatever, they have like those little microphones that like from like the ear pods, and like they hold it up here, versus just like a hidden microphone like would be like a typical like interview thing where like it's like in the button of your shirt that they, like you don't really see, and they're like actually like holding into it. Like it just feels way less personal when like they're actually like talking into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but for some reason it sticks, right? People like want that.
Yeah.
Or else people wouldn't be doing it, right? And it's just very interesting.
Yeah. So let's kind of like hone in the conversation a little bit.
Yep.
I would say for me, and I think for you, and probably a lot of Catholic people our age, there was a point in our life where we dropped social media entirely, right?
Yeah.
Like I know 2018 was the year that I like completely wrote it off.
Okay.
I did it as like a Lenten fast.
Okay.
And I just like deleted my Snapchat. And
I'm so thankful that I never like got like I had Snapchat, but I never like got sucked in the way that people get sucked in.
Yeah. And then I deleted it, and then after the 40 days of Lent, 40 fasting days of Lent, that I was like, you know what? My life is much better not being on this platform.
Yeah.
And Facebook, the same way. I don't know. I think I have a Facebook right now still, but I don't use it. I only use my wife's, and
I've tagged you in a couple posts just so you know.
Only for Marketplace is like my profile pic's probably from when I was like in 8th grade or something.
Yeah, I think it's the SpongeBob one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic photo. I'm if there's one photo that I would pick to keep on there forever, it'd be that one.
That one, yeah.
But Twitter, I don't think I even had a Twitter.
Okay. I got Twitter when it first came out and then didn't touch it. So like back in 2010, 2011.
And even like Reddit account, I want to say that I was always a lurker and never like left comments or anything if I had an account.
Okay. Is Lurker a particular Reddit? I like Reddit. I'm dumb on. I've never touched.
Yeah,
Reddit.
I wish I was dumb on Reddit. Reddit is the front page of the internet, is what they call it, and it is. There's like actual, particularly like at my job, our IT blocked Reddit.
Okay.
For like r/chemistry, right? Like, and like I ask like particular questions about like what I'm doing, and sometimes the answers come up on Reddit, and it's like a reliable source. Like when you're talking about like ultra practical things, like the way you can find things like people do as a chemist is like a research paper or like random forums, and the best random forum is r/chemistry.
Yeah.
But our IT blocks it, and so I just go on my phone and look it up, and like I get the answer I'm looking for. That's how I use it now. But it is a very not. I don't know. If you just let like the algorithms run it for you, it can be like a toxic place.
Okay.
And that's why we're gonna bring in why we left it, like why we leave social media.
Yeah, we like leave it behind in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like when that time frame that I really like took a pretty big fast from social media and didn't really use it too much. Yeah. Why did we leave it? Because it's damaging, right? It's not a culture that's good for us ultimately, right?
Yeah, right. It finds a way of feeding you the things that are not going to make you a good person.
Yeah. And it becomes ultraly like sensitive to who you are too, right? That's like the algorithm. It like learns what you like to click on. And this is what I counsel guys on sometimes when I'm like working. I mean, it goes a lot deeper than this. It's never just like figuring out the perfect filter system or the perfect like. If I can just cancel all social media, then I'll never have a struggle with porn addiction in my life again, right? It's never that simple. But one of the things I do like talked about with guys is like you do like if you're going to be on social media, which I don't advise. Like there's so many content on there that's going to cause you to like start to sexually fantasize, which isn't good. Like if you are on there, like you need to retrain the algorithm. You need to like click on the 3-button settings and say, I don't want to see content like this when you see something that's going to trigger you, like all the thirst traps out there.
Right.
Which is the last thing your biology wants you to do. But like that's what you need to do is like retrain the algorithm to be like, I don't want this stuff. I want sports stuff. I want stuff that's not sports stuff's a bad example.
Yeah, that was like, a terrible example.
Well, because
click on the Bishop Robert Barron videos.
Why is sports bad? Because it's not that sports themselves are bad, but it's because they
are so closely linked to all that stuff.
Right. The algorithm was like, oh, like you like sports, you probably like chicks lightly clad, right? Like we'll throw those in there too. Like that's and so like, but it's like clicking on Father Mike Schmitz on other other Catholic content creators. Like if you retrain the algorithm, it could be a really like great source. Like I go on my wife's social media stuff and it's all this homesteading stuff and like how to be a good mom, and I'm just like, wow, like this is not like a terrible thing. Like can be used well. I mean, probably still
definitely
pull you out of like reality to some degree, but like different than like it pulling you into sin.
Yeah, and I think speaking from my own experience, if you need a hard and fast cut off from everything social media, that's a good thing. Like that can be a really good thing. That would, like I said, 2018, the thirst traps were never ending on Snapchat. That's why I got rid of it. That's why my life was better without it.
Yeah.
Then I saw the same thing with like Reddit. I used to do a lot of Reddit. I'm like, you know what? This is not making me a better person. YouTube Shorts, not making me a better person, but I'm still addicted to them.
Yeah.
like I'm not. I still follow onto those because like there are good things on YouTube that I like to follow, and then I see a short because like that's the direction they're going, and I click on it, and now I like.
Now you're sucked in.
Sucked in, right? So like. There's obviously very tangible bad reasons to get that, and like this is like a men and women thing because like men I think are particularly vulnerable to thirst traps and sins of like lust towards it. I think women are particularly struggle with like comparison, right? Like the only thing you see on social media, and like this applies to men too, is that social media, like people post only their A+ version of themselves.
Right.
Like it's not real. Everything you see on the internet isn't real at all. Like you only see in the best part.
Yeah. I'm like thinking about AI right now. I'm like, that's a whole another tangent.
I mean, there's that too.
Not real things, but yeah. I think there's like a growing trend because of AI in part, because of like what you're saying of people not being real, of like people authentically like trying to show themselves on social media, for better or worse. Like I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be blunt with you, and people are attracted to that. And I don't know. Like that's where we can like start to read church documents about like is it healthy to use social media for evangelization purposes and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. That's what I want to kind of transition to, like the good parts of it. Like obviously, like I don't think we would have a platform like this if we didn't think social media can be used for the good.
Right.
Almost inherent, like it's like all things, right? Like it's probably good in and of itself, but
morally neutral at the worst.
Yeah, right. Like, but like perverted towards like immoral things.
Yeah.
But. So like why is it good? I guess is the question.
How can it be good?
How can it be good?
I think social media is like less obviously so like a cell phone, where it's morally neutral. It's a tool that can be used for great good, but also great evil. To your point about comparison, I think it's a really good point. I was just when I heard that, and I'm like, actually, like from what I've seen, like there's this growing trend of people trying to be authentic. But for a long time, and maybe even still in a lot of people's personal social media followings, there is this trend of comparison. And what happens is like social media is then used for isolation and not connection. And like
which is like definitionally opposite of what it's supposed to be, right? Social media, right? You're supposed to be socially engaged, but it definitely like drives to social isolation.
Yeah. And here's the thing with it. It's like any tool, any progression in society, particularly today where we're like living in this age of transhumanism, this idea that we can make ourselves more than human, which is like such a devious like heresy, because it's like we are made to be more than human, right?
Yeah, right. You're 90% of the way like close to being accurate.
But like we can't do it by ourselves,
right?
Like we can't, like Elon Musk is trying to do, right? Like however you view him, some people admire him, some people think he's crazy, some people both, like wherever you stand on it, like he is trying to make himself more than human by human terms. It's the Tower of Babel revisited in 2025. like it's gonna probably end up doing some crazy shit that's not good for us.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
there's this dude that had a full-on emotional affair with an AI chat box, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, right. And like they asked this dude, they interviewed him, and he's like, "Would you like if your wife asked you, because he was married too, and they're like, if your wife asked you not to do it anymore, would you stop?" And he's just like, "Probably not."
Jeez, Lord have mercy. That's like the scary side of the thing. So why am I like talking about transhumanism? I'm going on a tangent here because it's like this is a progression. Every technological advance, social media included, is a progression in like the enemy's attempt to steal human souls from God. And what does the Lord do? The same thing he does with the crucifixion. It's like, good try, but I'm going to turn this into the best thing ever. I rose from the dead. Now nothing can be topped by the resurrection. But same thing happens with all of these like poor attempts to try to steal human souls, where it does work for a while, but then God's like, I'm going to transform this. I'm going to show you how this can actually be used for the salvation of souls and like actually lead people to greater healing, greater conversion. And that's why we're in this state of like society where like personal call to holiness has been more profound than it ever has probably in the course of salvation history, because like we have means to actually like talk about, you know, like who would have thought about Catherine of Siena 100 years ago, right? Like in America.
Yeah.
Right? Like now we have means to encounter the great saints and great history and tradition. We have an AI called Truthly for Matt Fradd that like gives us all of church history in like the snap of a finger. And so like it's just like profound to me how the Lord like is like, I see what you're doing. And sure, you might have success with it for a little while, and that's sad. Like, it hurts his heart. But, like, I'm still a Lord. Like, I'm still going to use this thing, social media, AI, or whatever have you, to, like, show you how I'm going to win souls for me. Like it's still my world. Like, it's such, to me, it's, like, such the power play. Like, talking about, like, competition back a couple weeks ago when we were talking about that. It's like, no, I win. Like, it just happens. It will happen. The end of the story is Jesus is king. Like, there's no way to rewrite that. Anyway, what are your thoughts? I'm throwing a lot at you.
Yeah. I mean, certainly there's a proper way to engage social media, and certainly there's a improper way to engage social media, even from the standard, or like from the perspective of like wanting to win souls over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
elaborate.
I don't think internet arguments are particularly useful.
Yeah.
I think what we're doing in terms of being creative, like we're creating content created. It's like, and it's an expression of our creative nature. Mm-hmm. Which what I would argue for is a good way to engage with social media.
The most efficacious thing, or the people who are most impacted by the efficacious effort of this is ourselves, right? Because we're participating in some sort of creation. Yeah. Is that fair to say? That
would be the way I would think engaging in social media is a good way. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
As opposed to if you're like looking at a video on something you disagree with and then getting in the comment section and then like just leaving it like a paragraph of reasons why they're wrong. I don't know that that's exactly helpful.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah, and like it's like what are you doing while you're doing it, right? You can come back to those kind of simple questions and like
maybe I'm wrong. Do you think that like that would be is there
I don't
room
know,
for
somebody
that?
leave us a paragraph in the comment section below and tell us why.
Tell me why we're wrong, and then I'll look at the comment and then just get even more rooted in the reason why I believe in what I believe in. Like that's what I'm saying.
That in itself is a topic of like how much the internet has become an echo chamber.
Yeah.
In like the polarity of America, like left versus right. That's a topic unto itself that I like quite frankly hate. Like it's like I'm just shouting into this echo chamber of like I'm right, you're wrong. It's like, okay, take a chill pill. But I think like there's some merit to what you're saying. I think there is like something to be said about like what are you doing while you're doing it. If you genuinely think somebody's wrong and you genuinely think your comment could potentially sway them or people who are reading the comment section, right?
Yeah.
It might be worth posting. Like I don't think that's necessarily a wrong thing. But it's like it comes back to what are you doing, why you're doing it. Most of the time people are just posting angrily. It's like there's no real self-reflection in like why they're posting their comment. It's like you pissed me off because you have a different point of view than I do. And in fact, it hurt me because I have something in my past that got activated by what you said. So I'm going to let you have it. This is my attempt at therapy in the YouTube comment section. Right? And like, that's where it's like, that's probably not super healthy. Like you know. Yeah.
At the very least, it's not convincing people that what you're saying is accurate.
Yeah, because it's so emotionally charged that like they start to see completely miss objective like
right. Yeah, if you're not conveying your message in a way that like will help lead to someone convince them in a way that they're acting differently, then you're actually, like I said, you're really just reinforcing what their original opinion was.
And how many comments have you seen like that?
Yeah, right.
yeah. It's just like, well,
it's just like your heart was in the right spot, but like your like nuance is a good thing in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Social media is a jungle. I think there's like a lot to be looked at, like, and like with anyone, it's like tread lightly. If you're gonna be consuming social media, like try to consume people who are trying to put virtuous content out there, like stuff that is like helping you grow as a man. And that doesn't necessarily mean explicitly Catholic content. Like I follow a lot of like good business coaches, like who are like really good at speaking about like what does like taking care of yourself look like, what is actually stewarding. They're using different language, but essentially what I kind of reduce it into my head is like, how are you stewarding yourself and your resources well? Like, how are you like living in the gift that God's given you? Or like there's a guy who likes to reduce things down to like, just make one goal, like just one goal, like stop trying to solve all the problems in the world and focus on one thing. And I'm like, that's helpful, right? Like, especially as men, when we're trying to strive for like being better, you know, it can be a task to look at all the virtues and like everything that we see we're lacking in life, and like, where do I even start? It's like, we'll just start at one step.
Yeah, and I think I kind of want to talk about like refining what even like your hobbies are, right? Like, because there's like a lot of like morally neutral topics out there.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I'll give the example. Like, I follow like people that like Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Like I'm interested in Yu-Gi-Oh. I like playing the Yu-Gi-Oh game on like Master Duel on my phone. I like the content because it was nostalgic from when I was a kid.
Absolutely.
I just unsubscribed from one guy because week in and week out he just like posted content that like was not making me a better person. It was actively making me a worse person.
Yeah.
That I have other guys that I follow.
How? Like, I'm curious about that. Like,
it's just like lewd references and like week in and week out. It's like the same like middle school kind of jokes and like.
Yeah.
The first, like the content, like the style of his videos were like good, like for what I find interesting about the game.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think one of the ways that we differ in generation is like I'm on Facebook and you're not, which I think is so wild because we're 14 months apart.
Yeah.
And like, but I think it is like a generational thing, like where like that's more millennial. Where not being on Facebook is like
yeah, we're both zillennials, right?
Right, exactly. But like
but I would relate far more closely to Gen Z than millennials.
Yeah, and so like the reason I bring that up is like I'm on a fans of Middle Earth page on Facebook.
Yeah,
and like what you're saying is like making me think I probably have to stop following that because like the number of sexual references in there, I'm like.
Yeah,
this is so antithetical to Tolkien. like
yeah, right. Like what we're talking about something like why do we need a penis joke in this every episode?
Yeah,
it's like stupid. So like I like unsubscribed and then but like there's still other guys that I follow that like are not like that and like don't need to get views based on like 8th grade humor. like
yeah.
And so like even like other games I follow. So like I guess what I'm saying is like there's like hobbies that like I'm going to keep watching YouTube because I still have the hobbies and the things that I do.
Yeah.
But you can refine who you're watching within that hobby that is like
there's good
people aren't actively like the guys that I watch aren't actively making me better, but they're also not actively making me a worse person.
Yeah. Yeah, like there are
language too, right?
And that like kind of speaks to the natural order of things to a certain degree. There is a natural order of virtue and efficaciousness that like can be sought after, and we intuitively see that in our consciousness. Why is doom scrolling intuitively known as a bad thing? Right? There's like an innate like
doom is
well even they use the word doom, but like there's like an intuitive nature too, like. This makes me feel like shit after I do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's our conscious telling us, like, this isn't good. Like, we're made for something more than just checking out and looking at these things. In a very similar way, if you do want to use social media efficaciously, like, it's like there's a natural consciousness to people who are putting out penis joke content and then people who are making, like, actual, like, no, like, this can make you a better person, even if it's not explicitly Catholic, which, you know, I think we can fall into that own little bubble of our Catholic world where it's like everything has to be Catholic.
There's content that can also like make you not a better person too, right? Like
that's fair. Yeah.
Like they can like train you to be too hyper, probably like scrupulous right?
Yeah, scrupulous, focused on the rules, or like have like a very regimented one side view of like. This is how Catholicism is supposed to be, and it's like,
yeah,
Catholic means universal. Like we need to like step back just a little bit, but you can also like shoot on the other side where it's like everyone's like Catholic, really, right? It's like, well, like
yeah,
there is a frame that we need to situate ourselves in. We don't need to so much niche ourselves into one particular expression, but we certainly can't like. Say everyone is following the Catholic Church is like prescribed by the creed, but
just because there's more than one expression doesn't mean that any expression goes.
Anyway, I think this is a good conversation, and I would really want to invite guys who are listening to it to chime in and share their thoughts about like, you know, what has social media use been like for you? What kind of social media have you found helpful? What kind of thirst traps or areas have you found particularly challenging? We'd love to hear about that in the comments below, or join us over at the Hey Brother community on the Discord app. We get guys coming in, you know, what feels like every week, a few guys like trickling into the server, and it's had some really good conversations in there. So we invite guys into that, invite guys to subscribe
I would like genuinely plug like an authentic way of like what social media should have been, like what was envisioned when it was first created, right? Like a group of people connecting socially, to like
strive for a consistent, or not consistent, but the same goal, right? Like like wanting to better ourselves as men.
Yeah, right. Like a medium, right? Social media, a medium to connect socially with a group of people that you wouldn't have connected with otherwise, or like been difficult to. So like, we're doing it. Like that Discord is like what this whole thing was meant for.
Yeah. So you can find information out about the Discord in the description below. If you guys have thoughts, we'd love to hear them in the comment section. Still waiting for that first piece of hate mail at nick@crafterformore.com. So if anyone has some hot, spicy topics.
There was that one comment. That was close, but...
On one of the shorts, you said? Or
was it a short? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for it. People can email me, even if it's not hate mail. You just want to connect. nick@crafterformore.com.
The alpha male thing.
Yeah. I remember. It was a short. Yeah. I went back and forth. He didn't respond, so I think I won. But the
summary of the episode: social media is about winning.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys have thoughts, feel free to reach out. If you want to learn more about what I do as a mentor, go to crafterformore.com. That's where you can learn how I help men become more authentically who God's created them to be and work through all sorts of things: addiction, career struggles, relationship issues, and I just love what I do. So you can find out that at crafterformore.com. Send me an email there at nick@crafterformore, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening. God bless. Thanks for listening to the Hey Brother podcast. If this episode has been a blessing for you, help us grow by sharing it with a brother who needs it. Visit crafterformore.com for more resources in growing a brotherhood, pursuing chastity, and overcoming addiction. Don't settle for less. Hit subscribe, and let's become the men God has created us to be.